What's up, YouTube? Leather Jacket John here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over the fit of my vintage Schott jackets. It's pretty cold today, so I'm going to be doing this with a sweatshirt. I don't think it'll affect the fit of these jackets, maybe one, because one is a bit small. Let's go ahead and start. So I'm going to be starting with my oldest one, which is a 618 from the very late 50s, maybe early 60s. Show a bit of a kind of like a close-up. Kind of try to go slow here of the jacket. You can kind of see the leather, how awesome it is. This is an older version. There's two versions of this ribbon label. And maybe the next video I'll do like a kind of like a quick video on the differences between the two models. Now, this one right here is a size 38. There's no size tag right here, but the size tag is in the coin pocket. So it's not a perfect fit. It does fit a bit large, but you will get the gist of it. So here's the fit. Again, this is a size 38. You can see it fits great in the shoulders, but it is kind of big in the body. Sleeves are a bit long. If I can zip it up, it's not going to be an issue. So this is the fit. This is the jacket I would sometimes wear to like layer. As you can see, it is pretty big in the body for me. This would be a great fit. Now, the thing with these jackets compared to this next one I'm going to show you is they are shorter, and a lot of these vintage ones, especially these ribbon labels and then later the cactus labels, they have quite a bit of room in the waist compared to the later ones from the 70s. They start getting narrower in the waist. For me, this is perfect because I'm shorter. I'm a short guy, and my natural waist is like up here. This is where I'm narrowest. And these jackets kind of go well below. Below this point right here, I get wider, so I need that more room in the waist. Most people, this is going to fit shorter on them than it fits on me. And for most people, these older ones, the ribbon labels and the cactus labels, for most people, it's going to fit quite generous in the waist. And that's why in the 70s, starting from the 70s and pretty much the 70s cut very much is similar to the cut today. So starting from the 70s, they made it narrower in the waist. So I'm not sure how this back, I've never even taken a picture of myself, but I'm sure you can see a bit of room in like the upper back. It gives great mobility, but I'm sure it's a bit big. For me, it's not that big of an issue. So just pay attention to kind of like how short it is. The next one I'm going to show you is a bit longer. It's the second version of this label. So it might look okay, and it is okay, but it is a bit big on me. These jackets, especially this version of the ribbon label, they're not that common. You see the later one a bit more often. But I'm looking to get one of these in a size 36 that isn't like too expensive, because sometimes they can be very expensive, and with patience you can find them cheaper. So this is the later version, and again I'm going to go over the differences, how to spot the later version. This one is a size 36, so it's not going to be super comparable to the older size 38. but the difference in the cut is pretty noticeable. So this one is gonna fit me, check out this leather. This one is gonna fit me a bit longer. You can kind of see a nice graining there. Yeah, this one has the vinyl coat hanger tab. That earlier one, I'm not sure if you noticed, it had like a cloth one. Didn't have a size tag. This is, as you can see, a size 36. This one is in really good condition. Bought it years ago, and I love this thing. And this one fits me perfect. So a size 36. I'm not sure if you can, let's bring this over so you can hear this. It's kind of cheap. Anybody who's had excelled jackets, and jackets of that kind of quality, that's what it sounds like. It's not the highest quality. There's vinyl here, this is vinyl. The leather itself is nice. So you can see, this is a size 36 and it fits longer than that size 38. And yeah, this one is an absolutely perfect fit. Both zipped, unzipped. I can wear this with a t-shirt. This is sweat, just not the thickest sweatshirt, but it's 2 layers, and it fits me spectacularly. So a bit more trim, but again, you can see how a size 36 is a bit longer, just a tad longer than that size 38, which is the older one. So this one fits a little bit more kind of narrow, and then that one fits a little bit shorter and therefore a little bit more square. It's a little bit wider in the shoulders. It's not a perfect comparison because, again, that one is a size 38 and this one is a size 36. And but I'm sure I can kind of tell just by seeing the jacket kind of like laid flat. That one is definitely more square, and this one is kind of the same fit as these next ones. These next ones I'm going to show you, which is the cactus label. And sorry, there's a bit of wind. I kind of have to do this outside. I'm sure the wind is affecting how you're hearing this. Let me get a little bit of a close-up. Again, you can see that amazing leather. Really, really nice. Steer hide. So yeah, this is the 60s version of the ribbon label. And the next ones I'm going to show you are the cactus labels. They fit exactly like this, I would say. So this is a size 36. I have 2 sizes 36 for the cactus label, and it's identical. It's just these are a half a size larger. Not a full size, but roughly a half a size larger, because it's the same exact fit, but it just fits a tad smaller. So here it is. And I have 2 of them. This is one that's like in like super mint condition. You can see like how like vibrant that is. Same with the size tag. I mean, this one was barely worn. Very similar steer hide. Probably the same leather. You can see how nice this is. This one is in like mint condition. So much so, I'm not sure if you can see this, but it's kind of, these shoulders are like collapsing in because the elastic is so new, and the leather got kind of very pliable, not broken in, but it's not as stiff as it was when it was brand new. Again, look at that leather. But anyway, the elastic for these shoulder gusset here are so strong, and you can see how it's pulling it back. That's how new this jacket is. But here's the fit, and it's cold today. Man, that wind. So, same kind of fit, same length. But yeah, this is definitely smaller and a size 36. Same kind of like big waist on these guys. And again, I'm shorter, so my natural waist is right here. Like, this is where I'm slimmest. Right there. Right there. And it goes below. So I need this. As you can see, it's a perfect. If I stand up straight, you can see it's like, it goes perfectly down. Well, it's not wanting to stay because this guy's barely broken in. But you can see how it's perpendicular, pretty much. And again, a perfect fit on this guy. But yeah, a half a size smaller than the ribbon labels. I always go very slow with these older Perfectos because these buckles tend to destroy the leather here because they're so sharp and it's kind of thin. The later ones, it's like a little bit more rounded edges, but you can see how it's pretty much the same fit, but again, just a half a size smaller than the ribbon label for these cactus label ones. Here's the side fit. Back. I'm sure you can see the shoulders, especially on this side. You can kind of see how that elastic is kind of collapsing this part over there. So this is my new one, or my mint condition one. Bought this in the past year. I've also had one, I also have one that's a lot more worn, and that one I've owned for years. And this is kind of like my one for the collection, because again, like, look how like nice and like new this is. I'm not sure if you can see like the liner, it's like everything is pretty much brand spanking new. Here is my older one, and it's kind of interesting because this one has like a contrast stitch, whereas this one does not. So that's kind of interesting. Not surprised though, Schott does like a lot of just variations on stuff. So this is my more worn one. This is the one I've owned for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. This is the one I wear. Same exact fit, as you can see. And I've only owned 2 of these, so I don't really know if there are ones that kind of fit different. I imagine that these all fit the same. But you never know. You can own 100 of these, and they'll just have different, you know, slight variations. Whoa! That's how strong this wind is. I'm sorry, guys. Super strong winds today. Yeah, so this is how this one fits me. Unfortunately, I have to do this outside. I tried doing inside, and it's not going to work. Maybe if I get more light, I'm going to try doing this inside, and I'll just choose the best video, but this is the fit of this guy. And again, people who are a little bit taller, I'm 5'4". I weigh roughly around 130, 135 pounds right now. These, the ribbon label and the cactus label, for the most part, are gonna fit people shorter than it fits me. And it's gonna hit probably closer, not at your natural waist, but closer. And therefore, it's gonna be a little bit big in the waist for some people. So those are the 2. The ribbon label and then the cactus label. So again, ribbon label, same exact size, will fit a half a size larger than these cactus labels. Now, this is where the cut starts to change. Schott started to change the cut of these jackets pretty significantly. This is a 70s. As you can see, whenever it says Schott Bros, that's a 70s label. Now this one has leather here, and the buckle is just a little bit thicker. So this is a later 70s one, because I'm going to start with this one because this one is a 36, like my ribbon label and like the cactus labels, and I want to show you the difference first with this, because I have one in a 38 that's an older one that does have vinyl here. That's how I know it's a little bit older. Oop, losing light. So 36, you'll see how it's smaller in the waist. That's the main difference. Now this feels a bit bigger in the chest, or in the shoulders, than the cactus label, and roughly about the same as the ribbon label. But as you can see, it's a little bit tighter. Those jackets, roughly the same length. These are a 23-inch back length for a size 36 in the 70s. 23-inch back length for the cactus labels. Oh man. That's Philly for you. Yeah, that's Philly. So, smaller in the waist for sure. I can still zip it up. In fact, this is how pretty much the fit today is. So it does give a little bit more of a V, which is great, compared to like the older ones, especially that 60s ribbon label version, and then the cactus label versions. They're a bit longer, and again, bigger in the waist a little bit. The very old ribbon label one is a little bit shorter and therefore more square, even though it does have room in the waist. So anyway, this is how the 70s one fits me, and this is almost identical to the fit today of a 618. These are 618s, by the way. So you can see, because it's narrower in the waist, I mentioned this being perpendicular. This, again, my natural waist is like right here. This is where I'm slimmest. There's a good 2.5 inches there that it goes below. And you can see, because there isn't, it's slimmer in the waist, it kind of pushes this out a little bit. Whereas if it was up here, it would be more perpendicular. This is closer to where my natural waist is. But again, you can see, it kind of pushes it out. You can still zip it, but I do have to kind of push it together. You saw in the other ones, they were very, I haven't measured it, but it's pretty significant how bigger they are in the waist. This is the fit of the 70s. And now I'm gonna put on a size 38 from the 70s. And that one's also a good fit. Has a collar. Did not come original with the jacket, but so Schott Brothers, Schott size 38. This one is vinyl here. That's how I know it's a little bit older. And it's a thinner, kind of like cheaper buckle that are used on the older jackets. So again, I know that's how I can tell that this size 38 is older than that size 36 that I just wore. And this one is still a good fit, even though it's a size bigger. But you can kind of just see how it's a bit of a bigger, especially in the sleeve. The shoulders actually feel the same, and the waist is a little bit bigger. The shoulders and chest feel the same as the size 36 from the 70s, but can see the sleeves. And in the waist, you see there's more room here. I don't need to like struggle to get this together. And this is about roughly a 1/4 inch longer, which is kind of weird because it's just a little bit over 23 inches, where the one from the 70s, or actually, I'm sorry, this is closer to like a 23.5. So it's a 1/2 inch longer. And I think that it's the same in the sleeves, because this, if I don't zip this, the sleeves are a bit long. And it is probably a 1/2 inch. I've never measured the sleeves on this actually, but it is probably a 1/2 inch longer in the sleeves and in the body length than that later size 36. But yeah, this is how an earlier 70s. This is the earliest one from the 70s that I have, and this is one like that I would wear today, because again, I'm layered a little bit. Let me I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. So I'm layered a bit today, so this is one that I would wear on a day like today, where it's pretty cold out. And, oh man, hopefully that sun. All right, so I'm gonna now put on a late 70s, early 80s. Now, this I believe, can't tell for sure, but this one I believe is a 118. Oh man, the sun. So you can see, so there was Schott Brothers is the 70s. This says Schott NYC. You can see a size 36, Schott NYC. At least according to the book, this label is 80s, but I do believe that this is a very late 70s. Why? It does not have footballs. I had a verified 1983 Schott. I don't have that anymore. And it had footballs. So that means at some point in the very early 80s, they added the footballs. You can see every single jacket I've shown had stars. This one does not have stars, but it does not have the footballs. It does have a Talon. Oops. It does have a Talon zipper. And by the way, it's very common to see these bent. It's probably when people like bent over, because this is aluminum and it kind of bends very easily, so it's very common to see those zippers bent. Now this one is a cool one. Why do I think it's a naked cowhide? Apparently that came out around this time period, the 118, as opposed to the ones I've shown you, which is the 618. And it's just a much like more pliable, kind of softer leather. By the way, this is one that I call the green cast. The green cast Perfectos. Oh man, that sun is killing it. Damn it. Let's go over here. The green cast Perfectos. As you can see, I call them the green cast because they fade to green. Anybody who knows Perfectos has seen this before, and it's super cool. Where can you see it? Like right here, you can see it. This sleeve, you can really see it, and it's really cool. So, oh, and now I'm uneven. All right, sorry. Let's put this guy on now. This one is a 36. And probably starting from this era, like late 70s, very early 80s, that's when the fit starts to get crazy with Schotts. This one fits big. Almost like that size 38 from the 70s. Let me bring us back over this way. Looks like the sun. No. Let's keep this here. So as you can see, this one fits. This is also one that I kind of wear like layered. This one I kind of have to zip up the sleeves so that it doesn't go past my knuckles. As you can see, with the sleeves zipped up, it's actually not bad. It doesn't really bunch much here, so it works. Same kind of narrower waist. This size 36 pretty much fits equivalent to the earlier size 38, which is kind of crazy. This one is also close to a 20, like a 23.5-inch back. Not quite 24. I typically don't really like wearing anything less than a 23-inch back. I'm sorry, anything more than a 23-inch back. But yeah, and the leather on this one is just so like almost like soft and mushy. You can see kind of like how nice it is, and there's the green fading. Oh, so yeah, the buckle here. It's the thicker variety. It's a little bit more rounded here, so it does less damage to the belt here when you do it up. Those older ones, man, it just destroys belts. And this is one of my favorite ones because it's so comfortable. It's a little bit big, but it's just so comfortable. Let me just show you more. And it's kind of hard to say as far as, oh, if you get one of these, because you really have to know the details to be able to match it up and say, okay, this is from the same era, and then therefore it'll fit this way. It's a little bit easier with those 70s ones. Again, the ribbon label, cactus label, they fit bigger in the waist, and once it hits the 70s, it gets smaller. I think for most people, they probably want the 70s fit. That's the fit that you more or less get today. So this is this one, and I sometimes even wear it like with heavier layering and without zipping this up. And it's kind of cool because you can see it, like it's not big on me, it's not overly long on me. And I know some people would like say, hey, you're swimming in this jacket, but to me, this kind of a sleeve is not the end of the world as long as it doesn't look big here, and it really doesn't on me. It really doesn't. So, and this one is also in pretty good condition, but you can kind of see the difference. Like here, it's darker. This is like where it sees. You can see that line right there, where this kind of sees the sun more, and it just fades really beautifully. And this, again, this leather, probably the naked cowhide, it's just so like soft and not quite spongy. This stuff will stretch too, by the way. Okay. All right. Now we're getting well into the 80s. Again, Schott NYC, it already has this kind of a size tag with the American flag. It already has the, quote, bullet kind of design on the snaps. The other ones, I didn't mention that. The other ones, every single one I've shown until now, they're just, they're smooth or blank. It doesn't have anything on them. Now, note, this is a size 36. This last one that was big, size 36, again, no stars. And this one already has footballs. First one that has footballs. Size 36, and this one is tiny. So it's just really, really weird, the Schott sizing for these jackets. Yeah, this one fits like smaller than a size 34 today. And this is a 36. I'll show you my size 34 next. And I have another one, but that one was modified. I'll show it to you anyway. You can see, like, this guy, I could barely zip up. This is a t-shirt only fit, and I only bought this one because it was in person, and I bought it for like $100. It was nothing. Leather here, leather on the bottom, but surprisingly, it does have a Talon. It does have a Talon zipper. So just having a Talon doesn't necessarily mean it's old. But again, a size 36, and this guy is small. So it's just very, very weird. The Schott sizing. Very weird. I'll show you one from the very early 80s or 70s, but this one was modified. This one is like the jacket that I'm gonna be kind of like putting just pins and buttons and patches and that kind of thing. It came with this guy. There was one thing here that I didn't like, so I removed it, and it came with this motorcycle pin, or I'm sorry, this eagle pin, which is kind of appropriate because I live in Philly and I'm an Eagles fan. But yeah, so you see it does have the 80s label, and it is a size 36, but it's been modified. Somebody added a side panel here. You can see it's narrow and it gets wider, so somebody needed more space in the waist. And again, this is why I'm putting these kind of pins, and you can see these are super cool pins, motorcycle club pins, especially the Scorpions MC. So cool. I've just gotten that over the years. There's one here, what does it say? Spartan Motorcycle Club, Washington, D.C. And then there is this one, which is Lost Angels with a super cool graphic. These guys I also, this guy I also added. This guy I added, this guy, and then this guy right here. I do think this is an early 80s and not a late 70s, but it could be very late 70s. These are replaced zippers, by the way. So this one really fits big in the waist because I probably did not need this modification. So I kind of don't like the fit of it unzipped, but zipped it's actually really nice. And all of the ones I've shown until now have a Talon zipper. This one is branded Schott. And there's other ones you see that are a bit older that are branded YKK. This is this one. And this one kind of fits kind of tight up here. With without the modification, I'm sure this would be a little bit of a smaller fit at a size 36, which again probably tells me it's probably not a early 80s one, but more closer to that last one. But definitely fits bigger than that size 36. That 36 you saw, it was tiny on me. And then my last one is my new one. So this is essentially a 618 that you would get today. So this is my 618, size 34. Bought 2001. I bought a 34 because I know these guys really stretch like crazy, and I've owned this for 2-3 years now, and it's already stretched like insane, like crazy stretching. And this one at a size 34 pretty much kind of fits like maybe a half a size smaller. If I would have gotten this a half a size smaller than the 36 70s one. If I would have gotten this in a 36, it's pretty much the identical cut to the 70s. Again, smaller at the waist. You can see it kind of like pushes out a bit because it doesn't sit up here. here. I can still zip it up like pretty easily, but it is, I mean, for most people, this, even though it's tight in the waist on me, for most people, this is gonna be all the way up here on them. And they're gonna, you see how when it's up here, there is room in the waist. They're gonna need the belt. Me, I don't need the belt. I really don't. And you can see how, because it goes below this point, I get wider. So my body is kind of pushing these panels out. Which, to me, I don't really care. I mean, I could still, as you saw, over 2 layers, a belt buckle, a thick belt, thicker jeans, and I can still zip it up. And again, this is the 618 today. Probably the 70s cut is the closest thing to the 618 that you get nowadays. So if you see one with that Schott Bros label, not Schott NYC, those are the 70s ones. And I think for most people, unless you're short, or if you have a longer torso maybe, then the older cactus labels and ribbon labels will fit you a little bit better. But if you're just kind of like average body type, those older ones, those really older ones, they're gonna be really roomy in the waist. So we're at 36 minutes. Hopefully this is, you enjoyed this, and this will help you a bit when you're looking at the different vintage models of the Schott Perfecto. So thank you, and hopefully you'll keep tuning into these videos.